Welcome back to another video on the JJ Think Tank. In this one, I want to talk about conspiracy theorists again, about the world of conspiracy, and approach a topic from another angle. So I've made a few videos about conspiracy theorists, about the world of conspiracy. You can find them on my channel. I think I've made, so far I've made two of my own videos, maybe three, and then I made one with Dioplotinus, a brilliant video. We talked about the limits of conspirological type thinking. I'll link it at the end of the video for everyone to watch. But here I want to talk about it again, and perhaps this might be my last video about conspiracy theories, about the world of conspiracy. I might come back to it once I find more kind of ideas and thoughts that explain why this type of thinking is limited. Yes. But for now, I'd like to share my article that I wrote yesterday, and it was published not long ago on Medium. And I began my article with this quote by Alan Moore. Alan Moore. Now, I think Alan Moore. I think he was an actor. Was he an actor or Alan Moore? Alan Moore. Probably okay for his work in comics. Okay, so he created a lot of comics. Oh, V for Vendetta. Okay, that's interesting. I like this film, V for Vendetta. Really good film. But yes, here he is, Alan Moore. Okay, I've come across I've come across this man before. I've seen him before somewhere. But yes, this is what he said. So the main thing that I learned about conspiracy theory is that conspiracy theorists believe in a conspiracy because that is more comforting. The truth of the world is that it is actually chaotic. That's definitely true. Yes, definitely. People fall back on conspiracy theorists, on a grand conspiracy that boils down reality to a certain structure or a certain schema, a certain pattern of thought, because it's more comforting. Yes, I guess here we can talk about confirmation bias. So conspiracy theorists, they engage in confirmation bias. They seek information that aligns with their worldview, and if there's anything that undermines it, they just reject it. Yes, and therefore they create these bubbles, these echo chambers and bubbles, where they are enclosed. Yes, and they don't break out of this bubble, because really the world is chaotic. It's indeterministic. Reality is not foreclosed. Reality is not completely determined. Yes, God always leaves things open. We don't know what will happen in 2030. We don't know what will happen in 2033. We don't know. Things could radically change. We could return to the Middle Ages suddenly. I mean, we don't know. We really don't know. And therefore, these conspiracy theorists, you need to beware of them, because they'll try to trap you in their worldview and prevent you from thinking. They create like a cult, basically. And I'm very happy that I finally managed to escape this world. I still listen to conspiracy theorists because they share useful information. They warn you about events that could take place. They warn you about current events, etc. Look, it's not all bad, yes, but it still is limited. It's limited. This is a problem, yes. It's limited, and these conspiracy theorists, they don't recognize this. Yes, they don't recognize this, because ultimately their whole theory it comes from within. It comes from their subjective experience, but not everything that comes from within is correct, is accurate. It needs to be verified externally from other people and from reality. Yes, this is why we need to constantly engage in reality testing. And this is reality testing. This is a concept that I discovered via Sam Vaknin. Sam Vaknin, a psychologist on YouTube. Well, he's not only a psychologist. He has a background also in physics. He has a background in the world of finance, business, economics. He has lived a real life in the real world. It's not just It's not just that he's always in his little room doing something. Yes, he's been out there. Yes, so he knows what he's talking about. This guy, I really rate him. I rate him highly as a thinker. Obviously, I don't agree with everything that he says, but he has definitely helped me recently to kind of break out of this world of conspiracy. And he made me notice that conspiracy theorists, they operate via a personality disorder that is paranoid. It's a paranoid personality disorder. This is the problem with these conspiracy theorists. And yes, you need to keep your distance. Yes. Open your mind and listen to everybody, because everyone can teach you something. Yes, can solve a puzzle in your life. So yes, you can find Sam Vaknin on YouTube. Have a look and tell me what you think. If you, be interesting to know what you think about him. But anyway, for me, the two most famous and relevant conspiracy theorists were David Icke and Alex Jones. So I entered the world of conspiracy in 2013, but even then I was still kind of not really consuming much of the content. I wasn't reading many books. I think I entered this world properly in maybe 2015. I think 2015 is when I started to really enter this world of conspiracy. I listened to a lot of AJ. I listened to a lot of David Icke. I listened to a lot of their videos, etc. And I picked up a lot of information, a lot of interesting ideas. But then the more and more I kind of enter this world, the more I listen to them, I noticed that, now looking back, I really didn't think at all. I didn't really pursue any independent research. I was reading books also at the time. I was reading a lot of books. I started reading books in 2015. But still, I think I still wasn't engaged in independent thinking. I don't think I was really. Because I remember back then I didn't write as much. Because I think writing, being engaged in the process of writing, it really helps to clarify your thoughts and notice inconsistencies, illogicalities, etc. And I didn't do this back then. So I just accepted everything that they said as given, yes, as fact. And now when I look back, a lot, I would definitely disagree with a lot of what they said. Definitely. First, I would like to attack David Icke again. I'd like to attack him again from the intellectual standpoint. I think he's a fraud. He's a charlatan. He has no academic background. He's not trained in philosophy. He's not trained in logic. He's not trained in science. He talks about science all the time. He engages in arguments that we would classify as appealing to authority. So this is a fallacy. When he appeal to authority, when he say, "Oh, he said this, he did this, so this is right. It's right, therefore." This is not an argument. It's an appeal to authority. This is a logical fallacy. Yes. What else does he do? He has this ultra gnostic worldview that God is evil. Yes, this is bloody nonsense. And he basically promotes a worldview that that views the world as kind of completely deterministic. That everything is already kind of set in place. That what will happen in 2030 is already confirmed. Like nothing could change beforehand. We can't shape our future. We can't shape our destiny. This is the logical end view, the logical result of his worldview. Yes, and this is nonsense. This is nonsense. Yes. He talks about science. He doesn't know what he's bloody talking about half the time. And what else? I guess those are my general criticisms. Yes. When it comes to analysing the power structure, international relations, I think here he's more accurate, perhaps. I mean, his concept of problem, reaction, solution is quite good. You can use this concept to explain events, but not all the time, because sometimes events just happen. Yes, it's just chaotic. It's chaos. It's not that there's a certain group of people out there that can control everything to a T, and that we can't act in any way to fight back or whatever. Yes. So again, we can criticize this view. Yes. Personally, this is a subjective view of mine. I might be wrong. I might be wrong, but when we look at David Icke's past, yes, he was involved in Freemasonry, so he was a Freemason. He took a lot of ayahuasca in the past. This is a dodgy sign for me. He took a lot of ayahuasca in the past. He defers authority to this random African shaman, Credo Mutwa. So you can listen to David Icke. He constantly talks about this guy, Credo Mutwa. Vusa Mazulu Credo Mutwa. So this is David Icke's guru. I have no clue why. He's quite, I think, quite anti-Christian. David Icke is quite anti-Christian. He's anti-Jesus. So yeah, I picked this up. So I remember when David Icke had an interview with Jesse Lee Peterson, I noticed his pride and his aversion to Jesse Lee Peterson, to Christianity, etc. Because Jesse Lee Peterson, he started to question David Icke's worldview, like in a funny way, and David Icke got very defensive and angry. And I picked this up. I was like, okay. So yes, and ultimately, I think David Icke, he's just he doesn't reveal this, but I think he's salty about the fact that actually the British Empire doesn't exist anymore. He's salty about this, I think, but he just doesn't want to reveal it because this will undermine his whole kind of worldview. This idea that we're all one, illusion, life's an illusion, we're all one. Well, yes. So it's just now another thought has come into my mind. So David Icke, he constantly says, "Oh, it's an illusion. We're all one, bro. Universal love, all love." But if you follow this worldview, then surely the inflow of immigrants to Britain shouldn't affect you, because if we're all one, if it's all an illusion, yes, then it doesn't matter if all these immigrants come into your country, right? But here, David Icke contradicts himself. He criticizes this immigration. So can you see? There's no consistency there. So once again, David Icke has been exposed by the JJ think tank, by the pernicious, accurate intellect of the JJ think tank. Once again. I don't want to waste any more time on this Icke guy. Let's move on to Alex Jones, yes? AJ. Now, I actually respect AJ more. I actually still like AJ overall. But he also operates via a paranoid, narcissistic personality disorder, I think. He has a problem, I think, unfortunately. But at least AJ, he notices more his own sinful nature. And he actually corrects himself more. He contradicts himself more, which shows that he's actually thinking. He's a bit crazy. He's a bit of a Neanderthal. He's a bit crazy. He's got a high testosterone. And he's got a big heart. And I think he's a good man. He believes in Jesus. I think he's sincere. He does believe in Jesus. He's trying his best. And I think ultimately he's a good man. Yes, for all his faults. Yes, sometimes he's a bit narrow-minded. Maybe sometimes when it comes to Islam and Muslims, he's a bit too one-dimensional. But still, his worldview is more accurate. Yes, he's more in touch with reality. His reality testing is not impaired. Yes. Whereas David Icke's reality testing it has been totally compromised. Yes. By this spirit that he's led by, because he took ayahuasca. This is why David Icke is a fraud, a sophist, gnostic fraud, and you will be exposed by me and many others. because your time is up, sir, and you are now a bitter old man because your worldview is crumbling. Unfortunately, Mr. Icke. So yes, let's talk a bit more about AJ. Yes. So yes, he created this alternative media platform, InfoWars. I don't know if it's still in operation. It may have been shut down now. Yes. Now this InfoWars it was actually a good, for a while. It was a good platform because it shared the views of different thinkers. Yes, it wasn't. It genuinely engaged in free speech. So InfoWars, they had another platform linked to it called Banned Video, and there a lot of thinkers could post their videos. So I remember Greg Reese, for example. He was one thinker that I liked. Greg Reese, Icke, yeah, to an extent, yes. Icke, others, yes. So it was an open platform. But then I've noticed recently that everyone started to run away from AJ. Yes, they started to do their own thing because they probably had enough of him. Yes, because of because of his personality disorder, perhaps. So yes, but another criticism of InfoWars, of this platform, yes, is that it engaged in a lot of doomer clickbait broadcasts. Definitely, there's constantly an emergency. There's constantly like chaos around the corner, or it constantly spreads the view that civilization is about to collapse. Yes, it's this paranoia. It's constant paranoia, and when you consume this information, it actually affects your life on the subconscious level, and you're not able to move forward because this information, it controls your mind. Yes. That's why I don't consume much news anymore, because I think news, it has a negative effect on our life. I check once in a while what's going on, but I've completely stopped, and I think this really improves your mental health. So yeah, overall, AJ, he's close to the truth. I think his reality testing is not impaired, yes, but still he engages in paranoia, yes, paranoid style thinking. I guess returning to David Icke, I forgot to say that he definitely shows this holier-than-thou, arrogant attitude. He's led by pride, definitely. You can pick this up when you observe him on Twitter, etc. Now let's go to the let's analyze conspiracy theory, conspirological type thinking from the meta level. From the philosophical meta level. So I think in general, conspiracy theorists, they take a grain of truth and then extrapolate it to create a picture of reality as a whole. Yes, but the problem with this is that this grain of truth, this truth that they have, is all subjective. It's all from within. And when too much of your truth is subjective, then ultimately it's actually false, because you aren't the only person in the world. There are millions of people on this planet. You're not the only person. This is kind of a narcissistic style of thinking. And ultimately it ignores the unpredictable side of nature and reality, yes? And this is why I wrote, reality is never foreclosed. It's never foreclosed. The world cannot be boiled down to a theory invented by the mind of a single man. It cannot be. I'm sure it's just so. And this is, I ended my article, with this advice. Yes, you have to just expand your minds and try to appreciate various perspectives. The older I get, the more this rings true. Every person that you meet online or in the real world can teach you something, if only you kind of open yourself up a bit. Yes. Because otherwise, there's a chance you could be under mind control, which is not good, yes? And I guess someone agreed with me here, Nadim Ahmed. Yes, when we have less info, what did he say? We look for things that can validate our belief. Exactly. Confirmation bias. This is confirmation bias. And so this easy option, it doesn't develop your thinking. You don't think more accurately when you engage in confirmation bias. So yes, I mean that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't want to talk more about this because I don't want to waste your time. There's no point to talking more. If you're still here, if you're still listening, I really appreciate it. You could have spent your time elsewhere, but you decided to stick around and listen to what I have to say on the JJ Think Tank. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing. If you're a new viewer, and if you're an existing viewer, consider liking. It will help me, grow the channel and spread more vital information. Comment what you think. I'd like to know what you think about conspiracy theorists, about the world of conspiracy. If you agree, if you disagree, I'd like to know your thoughts. It will help me as well to find out more about this issue. But yes, once again, thank you for listening, and I wish you all the best. Take care.